Maya walked into the office building that Monday morning feeling a mixture of excitement and nerves. She had been looking forward to this internship for months. Ever since she received the acceptance email, she had been imagining herself walking through the halls of this big, modern office, learning new skills, and proving her worth. Maya knew that being an intern was not just about getting experience, it was about showing people that she could be trusted, that she could work hard, and that she had the right attitude to succeed in the corporate world. Her first week had already taught her a lot. The office was full of people who seemed busy all the time, typing rapidly on their keyboards, moving between meetings, and talking on phones. Maya noticed how organized some of the employees were and how quickly they could solve problems. She admired them but also felt a little overwhelmed. It wasn't easy to keep up with so many tasks, but Maya was determined. She believed that if she stayed focused and worked carefully, she could make a difference. Today was no different. She walked past the reception area and greeted the security guard with a smile. "Good morning, Mr. Lewis," she said politely. The guard returned her smile and nodded, already used to seeing her here early. Maya always arrived at least half an hour before most of her colleagues, giving herself extra time to prepare for the day. She liked this habit. It allowed her to organize her desk, check emails, and make a small plan for what she needed to accomplish. Once she reached her workstation, she unpacked her bag and arranged her notebooks neatly. She glanced at the large computer screen in front of her, where several projects were waiting. Some were small tasks that her supervisor had given her, while others were more complex, like helping analyze data or prepare reports. She liked variety. To Maya, even small tasks were important. She remembered something her mother always told her: do every small thing with care, and people will notice. Even if they don't, it matters. Around 10 o'clock, most of the office was buzzing with activity. Phones were ringing, people were moving from one cubicle to another, and a few were already discussing reports in the conference rooms. Maya's coworker, James, seemed troubled. He had been working on a presentation for an important client, and she could tell from his expression that he was stressed. He kept shifting papers on his desk, muttering numbers to himself, and occasionally rubbing his temples. Maya hesitated for a moment. She didn't want to intrude, but she also knew that James might need help. After a few minutes, she decided to speak up. "James," she said softly, "do you want me to help with the presentation?" He looked up, a little surprised. At first, he hesitated, probably thinking it wasn't her job to interfere. But then he sighed and nodded. "Yes, I could use some help," he admitted. Maya smiled and walked over to his desk. She was careful not to make him feel embarrassed. "We'll fix it together," she said encouragingly. The next few hours flew by. Maya checked the slides one by one, making sure the numbers matched the reports, helping organize the content so it flowed logically, and suggesting ways to make the presentation more engaging. She was patient and focused, explaining her ideas clearly. James began to relax, realizing that Maya's presence was helping him stay calm and organized. Together, they worked quietly, hardly noticing the time passing. As the clock approached 6 o'clock, the office was nearly empty. Most employees had gone home, leaving only a few lights on in different corners. Maya noticed the silence, but she didn't mind. She felt a sense of peace in the quiet office, where she could concentrate fully on her work. James, on the other hand, looked tired and frustrated. He rubbed his eyes and muttered, "I don't know if we can finish this in time." Maya looked at him with determination. "We can," she said confidently. "Let's focus on one slide at a time. We'll get it done." Her calm attitude seemed to encourage James. They continued working, and slowly, the presentation began to take shape. Each slide looked more polished, the numbers were accurate, and the flow of the story was clear. Maya felt satisfied knowing that her efforts were making a difference. Unbeknownst to Maya and James, someone was observing everything from a distance. On the top floor, the CEO of the company was finishing up his own work. He was a man who usually didn't stay late, but tonight he was reviewing reports and security footage. As he scanned through the cameras showing the empty offices, his attention was caught by one particular workstation. He saw Maya sitting there, focused and dedicated, while the rest of the office was silent. He watched as she helped James, carefully explaining things and staying patient even though it was late. The CEO didn't interfere. He simply observed, curious about this young intern who seemed to work tirelessly without asking for recognition. He was impressed by her determination, her focus, and the way she treated her coworker with kindness and respect. It was rare, he thought, to see someone so young who had such a professional attitude and a genuine willingness to help others. Back at her desk, Maya continued to work. She didn't think about the CEO, the cameras, or who was watching. For her, it was enough to know that she was doing her best. She believed that hard work was its own reward. Her mind was focused on solving problems, making sure everything was correct, and helping her coworker succeed. By 7 o'clock, the presentation was finally ready. James looked at it in awe. "I can't believe we finished," he said, clearly relieved. He glanced at Maya and smiled. "I don't know what I would have done without your help." Maya smiled back, shaking her head. "We make a good team," she said simply. Her humility made James feel even more grateful. Maya packed her things slowly, making sure she didn't leave anything behind. She felt a quiet sense of accomplishment. Even though it was late, she didn't feel tired in the usual way. Instead, she felt energized by the satisfaction of helping someone and seeing a project succeed. She knew that moments like these were important, not just for her career, but for her personal growth. As she left the office, Maya waved goodbye to James. "See you tomorrow," she said. He nodded, still looking amazed at how much she had done. Maya walked down the quiet streets, feeling the cool evening air on her face. She thought about her family, her dreams, and her future. She knew that one day, her hard work would pay off, even if no one noticed immediately. Little did she know, the CEO was already thinking about her. He had seen her dedication, her patience, and her willingness to help others without expecting anything in return. In his mind, Maya was already standing out as someone special. He made a note to remember her, though she would not know it yet. Tonight, her actions had planted a seed in the mind of the person who could influence her future in ways she could never imagine. Maya's story that night was a simple one, an intern staying late to help a coworker, but it was also a story about character, determination, and humility. She showed that true dedication doesn't always need recognition. Sometimes, it quietly changes the way others see you, and sometimes, it catches the attention of the people who can truly make a difference in your life. As she reached home, Maya reflected on the evening. She thought about how small actions could have big consequences. She didn't realize that her effort tonight was more than just helping a coworker, it was a moment that could shape her entire career. She smiled to herself, feeling proud and motivated to keep working hard, knowing that each effort, no matter how small, mattered. And in a quiet office, high above the empty cubicles, the CEO leaned back in his chair, still watching the footage. He thought about dedication, about people who give their best when no one is looking, and about how rare such individuals were. Little did Maya know, her quiet commitment had already begun to leave a mark on the highest level of the company, a mark that would change everything in the days to come. The next morning, Maya arrived at the office feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She had spent the night thinking about the events of the previous day. Helping James with the presentation had been rewarding, but she could not shake the feeling that something had changed, even if she didn't know exactly what. She wondered if anyone else had noticed her efforts. Maybe it was just another ordinary day, she thought, but deep inside, she felt that something significant was starting to happen. As she walked through the lobby, she noticed a few familiar faces. The receptionist waved, and a couple of interns from other departments greeted her politely. Maya smiled and waved back. She had always been friendly and polite with everyone in the office, and it had helped her build small but meaningful connections. Even though she was new, she was starting to feel more comfortable in this busy environment. When she reached her desk, she noticed that James was already there, looking more relaxed than yesterday evening. He had a small smile on his face and seemed ready to start the day. "Good morning, Maya," he said cheerfully. "Thanks again for your help last night." The presentation went smoothly, and the client was happy. They even sent an email praising the work. Maya's eyes widened in surprise. "Really?" she asked, feeling a rush of pride. She had not expected any recognition so soon. "That's amazing. I'm glad it went well." James nodded. "Yes, and it wouldn't have happened without your help. You really went above and beyond." Maya felt a warm glow of satisfaction. She knew that helping others was important, but hearing genuine appreciation made her feel even more motivated. She unpacked her things quickly and prepared for the tasks ahead. Today, she had several assignments to complete, but she also wanted to help James further if needed. She believed that teamwork was just as important as individual effort. As the day went on, Maya noticed that she seemed to catch the attention of some of the senior staff. It was subtle, nothing obvious, but she could sense it. People would glance her way with a nod or a small smile. She thought it might just be coincidence, but deep down, she felt that her work ethic was being noticed. She focused on her assignments, not letting the thought distract her. Around mid-morning, James approached her desk with another request. "Maya, I could really use your help again," he said. "There's a report that needs to be finished by this afternoon, and I think your skills would be perfect for it." Maya nodded without hesitation. "Of course, I'll help," she said, moving her chair next to his desk. The task was challenging. The report involved analyzing data from several departments and creating a clear summary for the management team. Maya looked at the numbers and charts carefully, making sure everything was accurate. She asked questions when she was unsure and double-checked her work to avoid mistakes. James watched her with admiration, realizing that her careful approach was making the process faster and more efficient. By noon, they had made significant progress. The report was taking shape, and Maya's contributions were becoming evident. She suggested ways to present the data more clearly, using graphs and simple explanations that anyone could understand. James nodded approvingly. "You have a real talent for this," he said. Maya smiled, feeling proud but modest. She believed that talent was important, but effort and determination mattered even more. During lunch, Maya decided to take a short walk outside. The fresh air was refreshing, and it helped her clear her mind. She thought about her family, her goals, and the path she wanted to follow. Her parents had always encouraged her to work hard, be honest, and treat people with respect. She remembered their advice and felt grateful for their guidance. It reminded her why she had come to this internship and why she wanted to do her best. After lunch, Maya returned to her desk, ready to continue the work. James joined her, and together they completed the remaining sections of the report. They worked quietly, focusing on accuracy and clarity. The office was busy, but they were in their own zone, supporting each other and solving problems step by step. Maya felt a sense of satisfaction as she saw the report nearing completion. Unbeknownst to them, the CEO was again observing from his office on the top floor. He had taken a few minutes between meetings to check the security cameras, and once again, his attention was drawn to Maya. He watched as she worked diligently, helping her coworker and staying focused despite the busyness around her. He could see the care she took with every detail, the patience she showed, and the respect she demonstrated toward others. The CEO was impressed. It was not common to see someone so young show such professionalism, dedication, and kindness. He leaned back in his chair, thinking about the kind of people he wanted in his company. Maya's actions stood out not just because she was competent, but because she showed character, humility, and a willingness to help without seeking recognition. As the afternoon went on, Maya and James finished the report. James reviewed it one last time, making sure everything was correct. "This looks perfect," he said with relief. "I don't know how I would have done it without you." Maya shook her head. "We did it together," she said, smiling. She felt proud, but more importantly, she felt fulfilled knowing that she had contributed to something meaningful. The rest of the day passed smoothly. Maya continued to work on smaller tasks, organizing files, responding to emails, and assisting other colleagues when needed. Her focus and determination were consistent, and people around her began to notice. A few of the managers even stopped by to ask questions or give brief advice, recognizing that she was capable and reliable. Maya thanked them politely, taking every interaction as a learning opportunity. As evening approached, the office started to empty again. Maya realized it was going to be another late night. James had a few remaining tasks, and he asked for her help one more time. Maya agreed without hesitation. She knew that staying late was sometimes necessary to ensure high-quality work. She believed that dedication was not about counting hours but about making sure the job was done well. While they worked, Maya thought about her future. She wanted to grow in her career, gain more experience, and make a positive impact wherever she went. She believed that every small effort counted and that building a reputation of reliability and integrity was important. Her actions today, she thought, were steps toward achieving her long-term goals. Meanwhile, the CEO continued to observe. He noticed Maya's calm attitude, her patience, and her willingness to assist others. He also noticed how she handled challenges without complaining and how she maintained focus even when tired. He realized that Maya had qualities that were rare in most employees: intelligence, dedication, empathy, and humility. These traits were not only important for performing tasks but also for building trust and leadership potential. By 8 o'clock, the last tasks were completed. Maya and James reviewed the final details together. James looked at her and said, "You really are something else, Maya. I hope people realize how lucky they are to have you." Maya smiled modestly. "I'm just doing my best," she replied. She believed that doing her best was enough, and recognition, while nice, was not her main motivation. As they packed up, Maya felt a deep sense of satisfaction. She had worked hard, helped her colleague, and completed important tasks. Even though it was late, she did not feel tired in the usual way. Instead, she felt energized by the sense of accomplishment and the knowledge that her efforts had made a real difference. As she walked toward the exit, Maya noticed a small shadow in the distance. At first, she thought it was just a passing cleaner or security guard. But she didn't pay much attention. She waved goodbye to James and left the building, feeling proud of what she had achieved. She thought about the day, reflecting on how teamwork, patience, and dedication could solve problems and create positive outcomes. Upstairs, the CEO remained in his office, thinking. Maya's actions had caught his attention more than once, and he found himself impressed by her character and work ethic. He made a mental note to follow her progress and consider her potential for future opportunities within the company. He was curious about her journey and wanted to see how far her determination and talent could take her. Maya's evening ended quietly. She returned home, reflecting on the day's events. She felt motivated to continue working hard and helping others whenever she could. She understood that success was not just about finishing tasks, it was about attitude, dedication, and the small choices that defined who she was. And although she didn't know it yet, her actions were already shaping her future in ways that would surprise her in the days to come. That night, as she prepared for bed, Maya thought about the power of small efforts and quiet determination. She believed that even unnoticed actions could create meaningful change, and she felt proud of herself. She didn't know that the CEO had taken note of her work, or that her dedication would soon lead to an unexpected opportunity. For Maya, it was enough to know that she had done her best, helped others, and maintained her integrity. And so, another day in Maya's internship ended, a day filled with learning, hard work, and quiet achievement. She had once again shown that true dedication was about more than recognition, it was about giving your best, supporting others, and building a foundation for a bright future. The seeds of her future success had been planted, and soon, they would grow in ways she could never imagine. The next morning, Maya arrived at the office feeling a mix of anticipation and curiosity. She had been thinking about the events of the last 2 days. Helping James and staying late had felt rewarding, but she could not shake the feeling that something bigger was quietly unfolding. She wondered if anyone else had noticed her work, or if it was all just routine. As she walked through the lobby, she tried to ignore the little flutter of excitement in her chest. She focused on starting the day with energy and determination. When she reached her desk, she saw that James was already there, organizing his notes and reviewing emails. He looked up and smiled at her. "Good morning, Maya. Did you sleep well?" he asked politely. Maya nodded. "Yes, I did. Thank you. And you?" James chuckled softly. "I did. I slept a little easier knowing the presentation went well yesterday." Maya smiled back. She felt a quiet pride in being part of that success, even though she had not expected any recognition beyond a simple thank you. The morning started with a series of small tasks. Maya answered emails, filed documents, and updated records. She worked quickly but carefully, knowing that accuracy mattered. Her focus was interrupted occasionally by brief meetings and colleagues passing by, but she stayed calm and attentive. She felt that every little effort counted, even the ones that seemed ordinary. Around mid-morning, James approached her desk with a new challenge. "Maya, I could really use your help again," he said. "There's an urgent proposal that needs to be prepared for a meeting with a potential client this afternoon. Your skills with data and organization would be perfect." Maya felt a sense of responsibility and excitement. "Of course, I'll help," she said. She moved her chair next to his desk and opened the files, ready to dive into the work. The proposal required careful attention to detail. Maya analyzed charts, reviewed past reports, and organized the information in a clear, concise way. She suggested visual aids to make the content easier to understand and offered ideas for highlighting key points. James watched her with admiration, impressed by her ability to think ahead and make complex information simple for others. As they worked, the office began to fill with the usual bustle. Colleagues discussed projects, phones rang, and printers hummed. Despite the noise, Maya remained focused. She had learned that concentration and patience were important, especially in a busy environment. She carefully double-checked every figure and ensured that every section of the proposal made sense. Her attention to detail was impressive, and James felt reassured knowing she was handling the critical parts of the work. By noon, the proposal was taking shape. Maya suggested small changes that improved clarity and made the document more persuasive. James nodded, realizing that her contributions were elevating the entire project. "This looks really good," he said. "You're making a huge difference here." Maya smiled, feeling proud but modest. She believed that collaboration and teamwork were more important than individual recognition. During lunch, Maya stepped outside for a short walk. The fresh air and sunlight were refreshing, giving her energy for the afternoon ahead. She thought about her goals and the path she wanted to follow. Her family had always emphasized the importance of hard work, honesty, and helping others. She reflected on their advice, feeling grateful and motivated. She knew that every small effort mattered and that building a reputation for reliability and integrity would serve her well in the future. After lunch, Maya returned to the office with renewed focus. James joined her, and they worked together to complete the proposal. The task was challenging, requiring careful coordination and thoughtful presentation of ideas. Maya suggested ways to make the content more engaging, using simple language and clear explanations. James appreciated her insight and realized how valuable her contributions were to the success of the project. Meanwhile, the CEO was again observing from his office. He had taken a few minutes to check the security cameras between meetings and noticed Maya working diligently. He saw her assisting James, staying calm under pressure, and carefully reviewing every detail. Her professionalism and dedication stood out. The CEO was impressed not just by her skills, but by her character, her humility, patience, and willingness to help others without seeking attention. By mid-afternoon, the proposal was nearly complete. Maya and James reviewed the final sections together, making small adjustments and ensuring that everything was accurate. Maya felt a sense of satisfaction. The document was clear, well organized, and persuasive. She knew that their combined efforts would leave a positive impression on the client. James looked at her and said, "You really are amazing, Maya. Your attention to detail and creativity are exceptional." Maya smiled politely. "We did it together," she said. She believed that collaboration was always stronger than individual effort. As the day progressed, Maya continued to work on smaller tasks. She helped organize schedules, updated records, and assisted colleagues who needed guidance. Her patience and approachability made her a natural point of contact for others, and people began to notice her positive attitude and reliability. She treated every task as an opportunity to learn and grow, knowing that every experience added value to her career. By early evening, the office started to empty again. Maya realized it would be another late night, but she did not mind. She stayed because she cared about completing the work correctly and supporting her team. James had a few remaining tasks and asked for her help one more time. Maya agreed without hesitation. She understood that dedication was not about counting hours but about ensuring quality and contributing meaningfully. While they worked, Maya reflected on her journey so far. She had faced challenges as a young intern, navigating a busy office and learning new skills. She realized that perseverance, patience, and kindness were essential. Helping others, even in small ways, created trust and respect. She knew that these qualities would serve her well, not just in this internship, but in every professional endeavor she pursued. The CEO continued to watch. He observed how Maya handled tasks, supported her colleague, and maintained focus despite the late hour. He noticed her calm demeanor, her methodical approach, and her respect for others. It was clear that she possessed qualities rare in most employees: intelligence, dedication, humility, and empathy. These traits were not only valuable for completing tasks but also for leadership potential and long-term success. By 8 o'clock, the final tasks were completed. Maya and James reviewed everything one last time. James looked at her with genuine appreciation. "Maya, you've done more than I could have imagined. I hope people realize how talented and dependable you are." Maya smiled, feeling quietly proud. "I'm just doing my best," she replied. She believed that effort and integrity were more important than recognition, even though acknowledgement was always nice. As Maya packed up her things, she noticed a faint shadow in the distance. She assumed it was a passing security guard or another colleague. She waved goodbye to James and left the building, feeling accomplished and satisfied. Her mind replayed the day's events, thinking about teamwork, patience, and the importance of giving her best in every task. Upstairs, the CEO remained in his office. Maya's consistent dedication and work ethic had captured his attention more than once. He realized that her professionalism and character were exceptional, and he felt curious to see how her career would develop. He made a mental note to monitor her progress, understanding that she had the potential to become a significant asset to the company. Maya's evening was quiet. She returned home, reflecting on the day's accomplishments. She felt motivated and energized, knowing that she had made a positive impact. She understood that success was not just about completing assignments, it was about attitude, effort, and the choices that defined her character. She believed that these principles would guide her toward a promising future. Before bed, Maya thought about the power of small, consistent efforts. She believed that even actions that went unnoticed could create meaningful change. She was proud of herself for staying focused, helping others, and maintaining integrity. What she did not know yet was that her efforts had already begun to shape opportunities that would surprise her in the coming days. Maya fell asleep that night with a sense of quiet satisfaction. She had worked diligently, supported her team, and demonstrated character that set her apart. Each day, she learned, contributed, and grew not for recognition, but for the fulfillment of doing her best. The seeds of her future success were being sown, and she had no idea how far they would reach. The office, though empty and quiet, held the echoes of Maya's efforts. The work she had done, the patience she had shown, and the support she had given others had created an invisible impact. Her dedication had not gone unnoticed, even if she was unaware. The CEO's attention was a silent reminder that hard work and integrity often mattered more than anyone could see in the moment. And so, another day in Maya's internship came to an end. A day filled with challenges, learning, and meaningful contributions. She had once again shown that dedication, teamwork, and patience could create results far beyond immediate recognition. The journey was just beginning, and Maya's quiet determination would continue to shape her path in ways she could never imagine. The following morning, Maya arrived at the office earlier than usual. She wanted to get a head start on her tasks, especially after the long day she had the previous evening. Her mind was buzzing with ideas about how to improve the processes she had been working on. She felt motivated and energized, ready to tackle new challenges. The morning sun streamed through the windows, casting a warm glow across the office. It was the kind of morning that made her feel hopeful and determined. As Maya settled at her desk, James walked over carrying a small stack of papers. "Maya, good morning. I hope you slept well," he said with a friendly smile. Maya returned the smile. "Good morning, James. I did, thank you. And you?" James chuckled softly. "I did too. I think yesterday's work really took a lot out of both of us." Maya nodded, understanding exactly what he meant. The previous day had been intense, but it had also been satisfying. They had accomplished something meaningful, and that feeling stayed with her. James placed the papers on her desk. "I wanted to go over this new project with you," he said. "It's an ongoing initiative, and your input would be really valuable. We need someone who can organize the data clearly and think about how to present it in a way that makes sense to everyone." Maya felt a surge of excitement. She loved challenges that allowed her to think creatively and contribute meaningfully. "Of course, I'd be happy to help," she replied. They spent the next hour reviewing the project together. Maya took careful notes and suggested ways to make the information more concise and engaging. She proposed using charts and visuals to help communicate key points. James listened attentively, impressed by her clarity and insight. Her suggestions were thoughtful and practical, showing that she understood both the details and the bigger picture. While they worked, the office slowly filled with colleagues arriving for the day. Maya noticed familiar faces greeting each other, laughing softly, and discussing their own tasks. Despite the usual morning energy, she remained focused on the project. She knew that staying concentrated and organized would help them complete the work efficiently. She felt a quiet pride in her ability to contribute and make a positive impact. Around mid-morning, Maya received a call from the office's client services department. They needed her help to organize a series of documents for an important client meeting. Maya agreed immediately, understanding that attention to detail and timely action were critical in such situations. She gathered the files, organized them alphabetically, and ensured that every document was accurate and complete. Her methodical approach made it easy for others to find what they needed, and her efforts were quickly appreciated by the team. James came by to check on her progress. "Maya, this is excellent. You're making everything so much easier for everyone. I really appreciate your dedication," he said. Maya smiled politely. "I'm just doing what I can," she replied. She believed in giving her best effort, regardless of recognition. But the small compliments and acknowledgement from James gave her confidence and motivation. The afternoon brought new challenges. Maya was asked to assist in preparing a presentation for a high-level meeting. The presentation needed to be visually appealing, clear, and persuasive. Maya took the lead in organizing the slides, ensuring that each point was easy to understand and logically structured. She added simple charts, diagrams, and highlights that made the information more engaging. Her careful attention to detail and creative approach elevated the presentation significantly. As she worked, Maya noticed that her efforts were starting to attract attention. Colleagues stopped by her desk to ask for advice or feedback. Some praised her clarity and organization, while others sought her help in managing complex data. Maya remained humble and patient, guiding them without seeking any personal recognition. She felt a quiet satisfaction in knowing that her work was helping others and contributing to the success of the team. Meanwhile, the CEO continued to observe from his office. He watched Maya's consistent dedication, her focus under pressure, and her willingness to help others. Her work ethic, professionalism, and character were exceptional. The CEO noted how she managed to stay calm, organized, and effective despite multiple tasks and interruptions. He realized that such qualities were rare, and that Maya had the potential to grow into a highly valuable member of the company. By late afternoon, Maya had completed most of the tasks assigned to her. She and James reviewed the presentation together, making small adjustments to improve clarity and flow. James looked at her with genuine admiration. "Maya, this looks fantastic. Your work has really taken this project to the next level," he said. Maya smiled, feeling quietly proud. "Thank you, James. I just wanted to make sure everything was clear and helpful," she replied. The office began to empty as colleagues left for the day. Maya stayed behind, knowing that a few final tasks needed attention. She reviewed reports, organized files, and prepared a summary for the next day. She worked efficiently, ensuring that everything was in order before leaving. Her commitment to excellence and attention to detail made her an invaluable part of the team. As she packed her things, Maya reflected on the day. She felt proud of her contributions, the skills she had applied, and the support she had given to her colleagues. She understood that success was not just about completing tasks, it was about how she approached each challenge, stayed focused, and maintained integrity. She believed that these qualities would guide her career and open doors to future opportunities. Upstairs, the CEO continued to watch. He observed how Maya managed her time, assisted her colleagues, and remained focused despite the late hour. He noticed her calm demeanor, her methodical approach, and her respect for others. It was clear that she possessed rare qualities: intelligence, dedication, humility, and empathy. These traits were not only valuable for completing tasks but also for long-term success and leadership potential. As the evening progressed, Maya finally prepared to leave. She turned off her computer, tidied her workspace, and walked toward the exit. The office was quiet, except for the faint hum of lights and computers still running in the background. She paused for a moment, thinking about the day's accomplishments and the lessons she had learned. She felt a sense of fulfillment and quiet excitement about the path ahead. On her way out, Maya noticed a light in the CEO's office. She assumed he was still busy with meetings or reviewing reports. She waved goodbye to James and stepped outside into the cool evening air. The city was alive with lights and movement, and she felt energized by the atmosphere. Walking home, she reflected on the value of hard work, patience, and integrity. She believed that every effort, no matter how small, could create meaningful change. At home, Maya settled in for the evening. She reviewed her notes from the day, thinking about how she could improve her workflow, contribute more effectively, and support her team. She felt motivated to continue learning and growing, knowing that dedication and perseverance would help her achieve her goals. She also reflected on the importance of kindness and humility, understanding that how she treated others was just as important as the work she produced. The next morning arrived with a sense of anticipation. Maya returned to the office, ready to continue her journey. She knew that challenges awaited, but she felt confident in her abilities and approach. Each day was an opportunity to learn, contribute, and grow. She was determined to give her best effort, knowing that her consistency and dedication would eventually be recognized. As the week progressed, Maya's reputation for reliability and excellence began to spread. Colleagues sought her guidance, management noticed her contributions, and her work continued to make a positive impact. Her approach remained consistent, patient, focused, and collaborative. She understood that building trust and respect required time and effort, and she was willing to put in both. Meanwhile, the CEO continued to observe. He was impressed by Maya's consistent performance, her humility, and her ability to stay composed under pressure. He recognized the value of her skills, character, and work ethic. It became clear to him that she had potential far beyond her current role. He began considering ways to support her growth and ensure that her contributions were acknowledged appropriately. By the end of the week, Maya had completed another series of successful projects. She felt a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that her work made a difference. She also understood that her dedication, patience, and kindness had created a lasting impression, even if she did not yet realize it. That evening, as she left the office once again, Maya reflected on the journey so far. Each task, each challenge, and each small victory had contributed to her growth. She felt motivated, inspired, and hopeful for the future. She knew that her efforts would continue to shape opportunities and open doors in ways she could not yet imagine. The office, though quiet and empty, held the traces of Maya's dedication. The impact of her work, her patience, and her support for others had created a positive ripple effect. Even in her absence, her contributions were felt, noticed, and appreciated. The CEO, watching from his office, knew that Maya was someone special, someone whose potential was waiting to be fully realized. And so, another day ended for Maya. A day filled with meaningful work, collaboration, and growth. She had once again demonstrated that consistency, patience, and dedication could create extraordinary results. The journey was far from over, but Maya's determination and character were laying the foundation for something remarkable, even if she had no idea how close she was to being recognized. The following Monday, the office buzzed with energy, as if everyone sensed something important was about to happen. Maya arrived early, as usual, her mind already planning the day. She had a long list of tasks, but her focus was steady. She felt a quiet excitement, not knowing that today would mark a turning point in her career. As she settled at her desk, James approached with a warm smile. "Maya, good morning. We have something to discuss today," he said, handing her a folder. Maya raised her eyebrows, curiosity sparking. "What is it?" she asked. James glanced around, making sure no one else was listening. "The CEO wants to meet with you this morning. It's about the projects you've been handling." Maya's heart skipped a beat. She had worked hard, but a direct meeting with the CEO? She never expected this. Moments later, she walked toward the CEO's office. The hallway seemed longer than usual, and every step she took made her more aware of the significance of this moment. She knocked softly at the door. "Come in," the CEO's voice invited. Maya stepped inside, feeling a mixture of nervousness and excitement. The CEO stood behind his large wooden desk, his expression calm but attentive. He gestured to a chair across from him. "Maya, thank you for coming," he said. "I've been observing your work for the past few weeks. Your dedication, focus, and ability to help others has not gone unnoticed." Maya blinked, surprised by his words. She had always believed in doing her best quietly, without seeking recognition. The CEO continued, "You have qualities that are rare: patience, intelligence, attention to detail, and a genuine willingness to support your team. These are exactly the qualities we need in a leader." Maya felt a warm sense of pride, but also a bit of disbelief. She had never imagined that her efforts would be recognized at this level. "I want to offer you a promotion," the CEO said, his voice steady. "A role where you will lead a small team and have more responsibility over important projects. Your work ethic has earned this opportunity, and I believe you will excel." Maya was speechless for a moment. A promotion? Leading a team? It was more than she had dreamed of. She gathered her thoughts and replied, "Thank you. I'm honored, and I promise to do my best." The CEO nodded, a small smile forming. "I have no doubt. Your commitment has already proven that you can handle challenges effectively. I want to give you the chance to continue growing and to make a real impact on the company." Maya felt a mixture of excitement and determination. She realized that all the late nights, extra effort, and patience had finally paid off. After the meeting, Maya returned to her desk, feeling a surge of motivation. She immediately started thinking about how she could approach her new responsibilities. She wanted to lead by example, just as she had always worked with James and her colleagues supportively, patiently, and effectively. She also wanted to ensure that her team felt valued and encouraged, knowing how much small acts of guidance could make a difference. James stopped by her desk, sensing her excitement. "Maya, I heard the news. Congratulations. You really deserve it," he said warmly. Maya smiled, feeling grateful for his support. "Thank you, James. I'm excited but also a little nervous," she admitted. James laughed softly. "Nervous is good, it means you care. Just remember to trust yourself. You've earned this because of your abilities, not by chance." As the day progressed, Maya began preparing for her new role. She reviewed ongoing projects, organized files, and made notes on how to support her colleagues. She also took time to consider how she could improve processes, making tasks more efficient and collaborative. Her approach was methodical, thoughtful, and practical, reflecting the qualities the CEO had praised. Meanwhile, word of her promotion started to spread quietly through the office. Colleagues congratulated her politely, some expressing genuine admiration for her achievements. Maya remained humble, acknowledging their words with gratitude but without arrogance. She understood that leadership was not about recognition alone, it was about responsibility, teamwork, and integrity. That evening, as Maya left the office, she reflected on her journey. She thought about the long hours she had spent helping James, organizing projects, and quietly ensuring that everything ran smoothly. She realized that her dedication had not only helped her colleagues but had also shaped her into a stronger, more capable professional. Each small effort, each act of patience, had contributed to this moment of recognition. Walking home, Maya felt a sense of fulfillment and purpose. She understood that success was not instant, it was built through consistent effort, persistence, and the willingness to go beyond expectations. She also realized the importance of humility and kindness, knowing that her positive approach had influenced the people around her in meaningful ways. The next day, Maya stepped into her new role with confidence. She greeted her team warmly, introduced herself as their leader, and began outlining the priorities for the week. She emphasized collaboration, communication, and respect, ensuring that each team member felt included and valued. Her leadership style was patient but firm, supportive but focused, reflecting the values she held dear. Throughout the week, Maya's leadership had a noticeable impact. Her team members felt encouraged to share ideas, ask questions, and contribute to projects. Productivity increased, and the quality of work improved significantly. Maya made sure to acknowledge contributions, offer guidance, and support those who needed it. She demonstrated that leadership was not just about authority, it was about empowerment, guidance, and creating an environment where everyone could succeed. The CEO continued to observe from his office. He noted how Maya managed her team, communicated effectively, and maintained her focus and patience. Her ability to lead without arrogance, to support without micromanaging, and to stay organized while handling multiple responsibilities impressed him greatly. It became clear that Maya was not just capable of handling her new role but of achieving much more in the future. As weeks passed, Maya became a respected and valued leader. Her approach inspired others to work harder, think creatively, and collaborate more effectively. She maintained her humility, always remembering the lessons she had learned while assisting James and observing the workings of the office. She also continued to grow professionally, taking on challenging projects and learning new skills that prepared her for future opportunities. One afternoon, the CEO called Maya into his office once again. "Maya, I want you to know how impressed I am with your progress. You have exceeded my expectations, and your leadership has created a positive ripple throughout the company," he said. Maya felt a deep sense of pride but remained composed. "Thank you. I've learned a lot from observing others and from my own experiences," she replied. The CEO smiled. "You've also taught us something valuable: how dedication, patience, and humility can transform a team. You've shown that leadership is about more than just titles, it's about character and consistent effort." Maya felt a warm sense of accomplishment. She understood that her journey was about more than personal success, it was about making a difference, influencing others positively, and building something meaningful. In the following months, Maya continued to grow. She took on more complex projects, mentored new interns, and contributed to strategic initiatives. Her reputation for reliability, creativity, and leadership continued to spread throughout the company. Colleagues respected her judgment, appreciated her guidance, and sought her advice. She became a source of inspiration, showing that dedication and integrity could lead to meaningful opportunities. One evening, as Maya packed up to leave, James came by with a smile. "Maya, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support and guidance you've given me and the team. Your leadership has made a real difference," he said. Maya smiled warmly. "It's been a team effort, James. I'm just happy to help and contribute where I can," she replied. Walking home, Maya reflected on the journey that had brought her here. From staying late to assist James, to quietly demonstrating her abilities, to earning the CEO's recognition, every step had been meaningful. She realized that her efforts, patience, and integrity had opened doors she never imagined, and she felt grateful for the experiences that shaped her growth. Maya understood that true success was not just about achieving a title or receiving recognition. It was about dedication, perseverance, and the consistent choice to act with integrity. It was about helping others, contributing meaningfully, and making a positive impact on the people and environment around her. She felt proud of herself, not because of accolades, but because she had remained true to her values and worked diligently to create meaningful results. As she entered her apartment that evening, Maya smiled, feeling a sense of peace and accomplishment. She knew that this was only the beginning of her journey. The skills she had developed, the lessons she had learned, and the relationships she had built would continue to guide her in the years ahead. She felt ready to face new challenges, embrace new opportunities, and continue growing as a professional and as a person. That night, Maya reflected on the small moments that had led to her success: the late nights helping James, the extra effort on projects, the patience and focus she had maintained. She realized that each of these moments had contributed to something greater than herself. Her journey was a testament to the power of dedication, integrity, and the quiet but meaningful impact one person could have in a workplace. And so, Maya's story reached a satisfying moment of triumph. She had stayed true to her values, worked diligently, and demonstrated the qualities that would define her career. Her